We are the keepers of the flame, the sacred order. Let the ceremony begin. And today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Nissin, it is the part of the hot and spicy line. It is the Fire Wok series. This one is sizzling rich pork. I have already done the molten chicken. That is in the ramen playlist or noodle playlist. I forget what I called it now, but you'll be able to figure out which it is. This one has 4 chilies out of 6. And the regular hot and spicy just has 3. I think the molten chicken, I want to say, had 5 or 6. This one does come with the extra fire sauce. This one is the Fire Wok series, is aimed a little bit more at that whole Korean noodle thing, the so-called fire noodles. And this apparently has 20% more noodles than they regularly put in there. So for whatever that's worth, I still get a kick out of this half package. I don't know how you would ever do that. I seriously, I would like somebody from Nissin, if they ever happen to see this video, to explain how somebody would do that. How they would just do half of it. So I'm not seeing it. But anyway, there's also the scorching sesame shrimp, which I have not come across yet. If I do, of course that will be on here. This one is to... Let's see, they want to put the sauce on, then do it for 5, cook it for 5, let it sit for 1. What's not our method? Our method is to let it cook for 4 and let it sit for 5. So anyway, every time you see any of the noodles in the other videos, with the exception of the original hot and spicy, which is a 3-minute cook, they have all been that. Cook for 4 minutes and sit for 5, and I just fill them to barely above the noodles. So these noodles are actually quite a bit thicker. So this is please add fire sauce after microwaving. Sure thing. We've got ground bits of pork, and you know what, we didn't look at the ingredients. Let's do that. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna look here for either heat, some sort of pepper or other heat source, or onions. So I'm guessing all that green crap in the packet is probably onions. Yeah, right there, green onions. Dried wood ear mushrooms. I guess we're going to have to live without those. I thought that might have been pork in there, but it's not. And again, I'm not seeing... Oh, natural flavor. So I'm guessing the heat is buried in there. It is probably extract, as these things tend to be. Alright. So we're going to take a look here at just what is in this flavoring, the dry flavoring right here. This looks pretty okay so far, but let's dump it out and take a look. Alright, so it is this gray sort of powdery thing. There is just powder there. There's no, I don't see anything extraneous in here at all. So, alright, we're gonna shovel this in. In we go. And from there we're going to just actually the fill line I can see here is below the noodles, so we'll probably use the fill line on this one. So we're gonna throw the water in there, we're gonna zap it for 4 minutes, let it sit for 5, and of course when we come back then we will have fully cooked noodles. Okay, and we're back, and as we can see we've got a little bit of liquidity here. Not real bad. We're just going to stir, stir, stir. And as we usually do, we'll take a small subsection of this, try it without the fire sauce, and then add the fire sauce. Oh boy. There's a tad, a little bit of heat there to this. This is actually not bad. It's got a nice creaminess to it. It reminds me of some of the tonkatsu ramens that I've had. Not quite as good as those. But man, I would consider eating this without the fire sauce. Flavor-wise, this is quite good. This actually is one of the better ramens I've had. Instant ramens. And I would go so far as to say that it's probably the best one on in the playlist. Wow. This is really unexpectedly excellent. Sizzling rich pork. That's why we try stuff, right? I never would have seen this coming. I mean, the Fire Wok series in general is pretty solid. Well, based solely on, of course, the Fire Wok molten chicken. I've not had the shrimp, as I said, but based on the pork and the chicken so far, just stunning. Just really, really good. I would go so far as to say I would actually put it above. Not in terms of heat. Not in terms of heat. I wouldn't say in terms of heat. I would put it above the majority of probably all of the actual Korean fire noodles. The udon ones, though, I did like quite a lot. I will say that. But as far as just straight ramen goes, yeah, just brilliant. I mean, this one is actually so good I would consider drinking the broth. And if you've happened to watch the other videos in the playlist, and definitely encourage you to do that. But if you watch through all those, I usually don't like a lot of broth. I don't like any broth. So usually I will cut down the water in an effort to not have any. I think I might have ruined these by putting that fire sauce in, if I'm being honest. Those are, I gotta look for more of these. These are good enough. I would keep these on hand. In fact, I actually probably will start after this. If I can find them again. I'm trying to remember where I got them. One of the issues is grocery stores, you know, they want stuff to rotate in and off of the shelves, and it's kind of one of the challenges of having a chili head oriented product, in that you might not get the sort of rotation you do with the regular flavors. But I ruined it. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. It's still good. It's still tolerable. But I will tell you this: you can, if you had some char pork, if you had some soft boiled eggs, if you had some bean sprouts to throw in there, you could make a very passable ramen with this, without this fire sauce. This fire sauce is a little funky. It does add a bit more heat, obviously. It's an extract type sauce, so it moves it pretty much into a legit one. Maybe I'll get more of that out of here as I eat it, but the loss of flavor, I actually I'm kind of sad about. Flavor-wise, Flavor, so you could actually, so if you like somebody who has a little bit of spice in their ramen, but not all the time, just not putting the fire sauce in there, perfect. Flavor wise, it's way better without that. Heat wise, obviously it's, I mean, you put an extract in there, it's going to get stepped on. So, alright, let's see what kind of burn we can get here. It's just degraded the flavor so much. This is a pity. As you can see, we've got, I don't want to dump this all over my table, but we do have some liquid still, quite a bit of liquid left in there. And I'm not drinking it now. Tell you that much. That's a shame. I mean, so this video series is about hot stuff, right? It's about fundamentals of heat is primarily about hot food types, not strictly hot sauces. The blog is hot sauces only, but this is about other spicy stuff because I'm a chili head. And I think though I'm a flavor person first, and I've said that before. And so the foodie part of me, the flavor person, that side, weeps with the addition of the fire sauce because it just annihilated the flavor. And it didn't add a spectacular amount of heat. I mean, I've got a really moderate mouth burn. I would say, I would give it a legit 1. It's a legit 1 with the fire sauce. Without it though, it does have a little bit of a spark to it, but it's got a really nice, rich flavor to it. That adding the fire sauce in here makes it the Fire Wok, I guess, but without it, it is a really flavorful, excellent ramen. And I'm surprised to be saying that about Nissin. Even though the other Fire Wok is also really good. The chicken one is better, I think, with the fire sauce. This one is better without, but yeah, I mean, both of these were just really quite good. So the Fire Wok series, I'm honestly kind of impressed with. I wasn't sure that would ever be the case. I'm kind of surprised. You know, a lot of the mass market stuff just gets to be jumped. But this series, the Fire Wok, they're 2 out of 2 as far as I'm concerned, even though I would not actually add the fire sauce to this again. Pork and tonkatsu, you have this really rich, really flavorful, very developed sort of broth to it, ideally, right? You have a nice creaminess to it, but there's a lot of subtleties like you will see in a lot of Japanese cooking. And this fire sauce in there is like literally just a wrecking ball, smashing it to bits. So the trade-off for heat to me is not worth it here, but I mean, it does add, like I said, it's extract. It adds more picante to it if that's what you're after. So this is obviously a lot more accessible, I think, for most people too, than the Korean style fire noodles, because you can just go buy individual packs of this. If you are fortunate enough to have an Asian market where you are, they'll sell individual packs, then you can get some of the other ones, but usually they don't go super hot. They don't go to the 2 and 4 times. These you can just get one-offs as often as you want. And, you know, if you're feeling squirrely that day, just squirt the fire sauce in there, and if you're not, then you can enjoy what's actually just a surprisingly impressive, very solid tasting ramen, just with the regular sizzling pork. without the fire sauce. So, but anyway, there you have it. The Nissin hot and spicy Fire Wok. It's rich, sizzling pork. Sorry, sizzling rich pork flavored. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.